What is up, everybody? I hope you are having a fantastic evening. I mean, football fans should be pretty excited. We got two Monday Night Football games, plus we got the best show of the week. Coach and I covered two. What's up, Coach? How you doing?
Feeling good, man. 5-2. What they gonna do? We feeling good, man. Running game showed up last night. A different type of running game. I mean, last night was a great. It was a great game to be a part of, to watch. And I love it. We put the whole league on notice. We were the only game in town that night, so uh, I'm thrilled. I'm thrilled. Nobody loses when we went through the run game.
No, it's true. Yesterday was the most unique game of the season. It was the one game where the 49ers stopped the run and ran the ball simultaneously. It hasn't happened all season long. And we see what happens when they get back to, as Kyle Juszczyk would say, 49er football. When that happens, they win pretty handily. I mean, that was a dominant, the score may not have said it, but that was a pretty dominant game on both lines of scrimmage.
Yeah, I really liked it. A lot of things that were just different, Bijan Robinson, 14 carries for 40 yards. That's not normal, Zach Harrison only having one sack. That's something where, I mean, and maybe like two pressures. That's not normal. Christian McCaffrey still putting in I think he had 129 yards on the ground for 22 carries and two TDs, 24 carries and two TDs, but what I love about it is he still managed to get 7 receptions for 72 yards. I do believe that this is going to circle the question of what are we doing with Christian McCaffrey, with his usage rate? But I got to be honest, Brian Robinson with 9 carries for 36 yards at 4 yards a carry, that's what you need, right? So I love the way that we schematically got to the run game. I love the way we got use different personnel for the run game. It was just it was perfect. And the elixir of it all is you got to give Kyle his credit, but George Kittle, man.
The only player in the league as a tight end that can make a massive impact on a game changing, game winning impact without ever touching the ball. That's why he's the best tight end going right now. It's not just that he's a great pass catcher. It's the fact that he can completely dominate a game without touching the ball. It's like a great defender in basketball. You get a great two-way player. Sometimes like the ball's just not falling for him on the offensive side, but they can impact by shutting down your best player. That's what George Kittle does for this offense. It was absolutely incredible to watch. Coach, you there? Is Coach frozen? Look at Coach. Look at. All right. I guess Coach is out for a minute. No problem. No problem. Check in with the comments. See if we can get Coach back in here. No, we're definitely not firing Kyle. That's for damn sure. Listen, I think as we wait for Coach to come back, I think that watching last night's game, that was like the biggest takeaway that I had was the difference in the run game. And yes, the 49ers switched it up. They ran a lot more power. They utilized Christian probably to the best of his ability at this point in his career. But at the same time, George Kittle's impact, even in that same game, the yards per carry with him on the field versus the yards per carry without him on the field were pretty massive. And Christian McCaffrey definitely looked a lot better, but I think he only had 17 rushing yards over expected. So he basically ran for what was blocked for him. And same thing with Brian Robinson. Both of them got exactly what was designed in that game. And just the impact that George Kittle makes, not only for himself, but also the wide receivers, it's a pretty big difference. Like everybody's game rose as far as blocking with George Kittle on the field. Obviously, one guy can't do it by himself, but everybody around him started blocking at an elite level. Jawan Jennings looked like he was a decent blocker again. Kendrick Bourne was blocking. You saw it up and down. All the pass catchers, that whole lineup, they were all blocking at a pretty high clip. And the question that I was going to ask Coach was, is this, or was this rather, the most impressive win of the season? And for me, I was going to say yes. It was like a slam dunk. Yes, this is the most impressive win of the season. But at the same time, that Rams game, maybe it's because I was there. The Rams are such a good team, in my opinion. I have so much respect for that organization, and they are the team that I picked to go to the Super Bowl out of the NFC. The fact that the 49ers were able to win that game with no Nick Bosa, Thursday night football, Mac Jones banged up, didn't have Ricky Pearsall, didn't have George Kittle. I think for me, the most impressive win that the 49ers had this season would be that Rams game. This Falcons game was super impressive because obviously there's no Fred Warner. But the Falcons, to me, they are a team that is like Jekyll and Hyde. On the road, they're a completely different team than what they've been at home for the most part. This is a team that lost 30-0 to the Carolina Panthers on the road, and then at home beat the Buffalo Bills. Michael Penix hasn't had a ton of starts. I also don't know if he's going to be any good in this league. What I do know is Matthew Stafford's an absolute G. Matthew Stafford's the top 5 quarterback still in the NFL, in my opinion. And the Rams have a top 5 roster, in my opinion. They were pretty much fully healthy outside of Akello Witherspoon going into that game. And the 49ers had a ton of injuries. So for me, I think the game that was the most impressive was the Rams win, in my opinion. Let's see. Maybe Coach is texting me. See what his dealio is. Let's see. Nope. That McDonald's Wi-Fi is going crazy, though. All right. Let's see here. You think the window's closed? This is a really good question, or a really good comment, I should say. Is the window, you're saying the window's completely closed? Yeah, it is on the regime that was here, for sure. I agree with that, but they can reopen the window, in my opinion. They're a year away, I think, from doing that, maybe 2 years away, but they continue to draft well. They can absolutely reopen the window. Coach, I was going to ask you before we got a little bit of a disconnection there. Do you think that this win against the Falcons was the most impressive of the season? And I'll catch you up on what I said. To me, when I asked the question or posed the question.
Don't tell me that. Don't tell me before I give you my answer.
Oh, okay.
Because you don't know what I'm going to say.
Oh, I
didn't hear you.
I know, but I figured you might want to know my pick. Go ahead. Yep, you go ahead. Go ahead.
No.
Say
it's
it.
Not.
I want to.
No.
It's not. Okay, which game is?
It's not. To me, nothing trumps a division win. And you would think that I want to say the Rams game. No.
Really? Okay.
Nah. The most impressive game to me was week 1 against Seattle.
Okay. I did not expect that.
On the road, divisional game, playing against a like-bodied team. My thing about the Rams is that the Rams were a different team. They're going to be a different team when we see them, and we're going to be a different team when we see them again. The Seahawks is a game that's definitely going to give us. The Seahawks game is definitely a game that, winning in their territory is at a premium. You can never count winning in that atmosphere. And when we see them again, we're going to be able to get them home, and we may be healthier. Beating the Seahawks has always been one of the biggest things that happens in the regular season with us. Now, I get it. The Rams are a worthy foe, but I got to be honest. Beating the Rams, it just gave me same old sorry-ass Rams vibes.
All right.
I couldn't do it, man. I understand that they're supposed to be good, and I understand the Rams are, they're loaded from, putting together their offensive line and stuff. But I feel like a game between Kyle and Sean McVay is always a one-game season. It doesn't matter how good Kyle or Sean is. It doesn't matter what's going on with the teams. Every time they face each other, it's literally a one-off, right? So us beating the Rams, I understand how the implications of what the NFL says, right? Like, that was a big team, one of the best teams in the conference. That's huge. However, if you're a Niners fan, you understand that this is akin to Niners Cowboys. boys. You know what I mean? Like when we see each other, it's all hands on deck and anybody can come out with it. And us winning up there, especially with how we always dominate the atmosphere. Like you tell me, did we dominate the atmosphere again up there?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Come on. Exactly. So for
And
me,
they 100% pump in crowd noise. And I said it last year to Sunil when we were at the game. I'm like, they're pumping in crowd noise. There's not this many fans here cheering like this.
yeah. So that's my biggest thing. That week 1, I had us losing that game too. Week 1 with Seattle. Seattle looked super impressive during the preseason. We can't forget that. I pumped up Seattle. I did. I talked about how good their defense looked, how fast they were running around.
And they've played really good since. I mean, it doesn't mean that you were wrong. The 49ers just flat out beat them. Yeah.
And on top of it, I don't know what the Rams have been doing thus far, but I know that the Seahawks have basically had a revelation. Like they are hot right now and they're ascending. So for me, Atlanta was cool. Atlanta's a little weird because really their offense is Bijan Robinson. Like if Bijan is not on, everything falls apart. And I love how we kind of chopped the head off the snake with that one. But really, for me, the game that was impressive was week 1. Because you know what also about week 1 too, Jesse? Week 1 was a precursor for the rest of the season, for what we've seen for the next 6 weeks. That this is going to be a hard-nosed team. They're going to play 60 minutes, and they're going to do anything to get it done. So I like it, man.
Yeah, I actually did go with the Rams game. I did go with the Rams game.
Oh, you did?
I did. Yeah, I did. Okay. And the reason that I went with the Rams game is, first of all, what they've done since. They just beat the piss out of the Jaguars 35-7. Dominated them. We're up 21-0 quick on the Jags. They've beaten the Colts. That's the Colts' one loss was against the Rams. And when I look at it, that game, I just, first of all, I picked the Rams to go to the Super Bowl. So that's impressive in itself, beating a team that I think could come out of the NFC, at least in the preseason, right? Yes, I get it. It's Levi South, whatever, but it was still a Thursday night game on the road. You had just lost Nick Bosa for the season, essentially. You had Mac Jones, who was very, very hurt in that game and then got hurt even worse during the game itself.
The performance of Mac Jones versus the Rams was unreal.
Unbelievable. And the way that I look at it is Sam Darnold's having a fantastic year. We'll give him credit for that. But the difference between like a Michael Penix and a Sam Darnold and somebody who I know is elite in this league still is Matthew Stafford.
True.
I think anytime you can beat a healthy Rams team with Puka Nacua, Devontae Adams, Matthew Stafford, without Nick Bosa on a Thursday night football game and all the other injuries they had, dude, it doesn't get more impressive than that to me. But the 49ers, really, when you break it down, have had 3 very impressive wins. You talk about that Seahawks win, obviously impressive, especially in hindsight, watching Seattle do what they've been doing. And then the Falcons win was impressive as well. And it's not because they beat the Falcons. The Falcons, I think, are a completely different team on the road than they are at home, but it's how they did it. Holding Bijan the way that they did in the run game was so impressive. A week after you lost Fred Warner for the season, that was the most impressive part to me.
Yeah, I mean, Tatum Bethune's performance was unreal. That was impressive. The emergence of Hennessy coming in and playing immediately at center and seeing the uptick on top of what George was doing with the offensive line, that was huge. Tip of the hat to Kyle Shanahan. I need to take a moment. This dude ran power, gap scheme. Man, he was running duo. He broke out the north and south running game. Like sometimes you got to call. This is what we called when coaching offensive line. Sometimes when you got a bad offensive line or you don't know the physicality of the offensive line, you got to make them walk the plank. They walk the plank, put a knife in their back, go forward. There's nowhere else for you to go. We're blocking forward. And if you don't block, we are running up your back. I know that's not scientific. I get it. It's real blood and guts football. But when you got an offensive line, I didn't play or coach. I didn't coach on like big levels, man. I didn't. So when you don't get the best offensive line, I know what it's like to coach an offensive lineman where all five ain't dogs, all five ain't 5 stars or NFL guys. And bro, when you got to make an offensive line work, sometimes you got to run at the weakest dude on the offensive line. You got to, because the weakest link is the strength of the whole offense. But if you're running away from that guy, he feels it. He feels the runs going away from his side. He knows all I got to do is I just got to hold, like he could Jake Brindle it.
Yeah.
Oh, I hate to do this, but Jake knows that these runs are designed for him to have the least amount of lift possible. He knows this. That's why he plays like it. All I got to do is post a guy, turn a guy. All I have to do is wall a guy off, be in between the gap. And that shit don't work, man. It doesn't work. They ran right up the middle. And as soon as Jake Brindle had to be the force contributor, he folded. He broke. And I'm glad. I'm sorry. We've been standing up there for watching this mess for too long. The offensive line did a phenomenal job with just being able to handle the myriad of running styles that we put out tonight. And I love it. The boys are tired. You got to play physical. Let them go north and south. Don't get them running sideline to sideline. That's not what we got anymore. Trent, being able to run north and south when you needed to bounce one out, Trent had legs. He had legs. He was able to get out to the sideline. I love what they did on the ground game. It wasn't even the success of the ground game. It was the investment. It was the investment. They had these runs ready. I love it, man. I like it.
Yeah, I do too. And you're right. I mean, it definitely, the investment finally paid off, and the style of run game was so impressive. So impressive. Kyle got in his bag. And maybe this is where CMC's at now. You know, you can't get him on outside zone anymore. That's just not the type of player he is. He's not.
Can't get out there.
Because you get out there, you got to be quick on the one cut, and it's just not working. So change it up, man. There's nothing wrong with that. The problem is that the 49ers offensive line isn't necessarily built for power. I think week in and week out,
true.
but it doesn't mean that it can't
guys
work.
Can beat up on. That's true.
Yes. Yeah.
I agree with you, Jesse.
We'll see.
Yeah, they can't do this traditionally versus some guys. They got to get a little bit more designed, right? But when you have a D line that you think is really built for speed, built to go get the quarterback, run at their ass, run at them. The difference between outside zone and what they were doing to last night was, remember the crack that Trent had to get out there and kick out a defender for Christian to run up under him. Trent went out, caught a guy, pushed him to the sideline. They ran off his hip, took it up. Before an outside zone, Trent would have to reach that guy where he would be fast enough to actually get on his outside play shoulder and wall him inside. That's how athletic Trent Williams was in his prime, where he could get a guy who was 1 to 2 whole gaps over and still could reach that defender. That is a remarkable weapon to have in outside zone. The only thing about it is that we just don't have that anymore. All right. And guys are beating us to the point of attack when we're running to the sidelines. And we got to be able to shorten up the point from A to B on getting downfield. And Brian Robinson Jr. got the ball. Like, finally.
Yeah.
Now we get Jordan James in here, we might have something.
Well, listen, don't get too excited, bro. I mean, you know, that's
I'm telling you, man. Dude,
little out ahead, little over your skis on that one.
I know, man, but it was a joy to see, you know, us. Christian looked good, you know, he looked better, you know, giving him an opportunity to have some good downs. I mean, I just loved it. You know, we did really good on penalties. Think about this. Did we have a holding call yesterday?
I don't think so.
I don't think we had a holding call yesterday.
No, I don't think so either.
You know,
I don't think so either.
That's remarkable. There's nothing more you can say about it.
Yeah, it definitely is. Daza brings up a good point, and this was actually topic number 2. He says, do we know how long Huff will be out for? Is it even more important to trade for a defensive end? Well, you've just hit on our next two topics, so we'll definitely get there for you, brother. All right. Let's talk about the Huff injury, because this is in true 49er fashion. You make it through the game, or you think that you make it through the game, and then all of a sudden Monday rolls around and there's a surprise injury, and this time it is Huff. Huff has a hamstring injury. Minimum 2 games, it sounds like, from Kyle Shanahan. We'll see after that. Maybe they're going to reevaluate him. He says he's out for a couple games. We know how a couple games goes around here, though. A couple could end up being 10. So I don't want to project. I have no idea what the grade of the injury is, but he's going to be out at least for the next 2 games minimum. So that being said, that's not the only injury. They had Renardo Green get injured. It sounds like he's got a turf toe. So that, who knows how long that's going to be. Mm-hmm. How do the 49ers, without making a trade, we'll talk trade here in a little bit, but how do the 49ers overcome these injuries the way that they have every other injury at this point?
Well, this is what I love about it, man. It's like when the bullets are flying and you're in the muck and the mar, it's no time to get cute. And sometimes you just got to be able to say, we're going to roll this out and see how it plays out in real time. Now, I do understand that the Niners are out here trying their best to bring in a body. And that's kind of like, you got to cook. And when you're cooking, you got to be able to cook with more than one pot at one time. You're right. If not, it's going to take you 10 hours to make a meal. So one simmering pot is trade. All right. That's something that John is working on in the background. I got more trust in him. They'll find something if they can get something. That's one. 2 is coaching. All right. Another pot that they got to get going. One thing that I love about it is that you got to move the next guy in. That means that Mykel Williams gets to start at right edge. Sam Aquinu gets to start at left. All right. Or you probably get Travis Gibson to back up the both of them, or put Travis Gibson up and have Sam Aquinu in. There's going to be ways that they're going to have to do it. They're getting back Chris Givens. That's going to be somebody else that they can use up and down the line of scrimmage. Obviously, the biggest loss with Bryce Huff going down is his pass rush ability. That's the biggest loss, right? So I don't know how we're going to be able to replicate that in the building. I do not know. Yetur Gross-Matos is out for the year, so there's no chance of seeing him back. And right about now, you really are stuck to 3 defensive ends, which is kind of crazy. And Gibson, Aquanu, and Mykel Williams.
It's going to be tough. Robert Saleh, by the way, called the most beautiful game I may have ever seen. I mean, my gosh, dude. The simulated pressures. It's crazy because I don't remember if it was with you or if it was with Sunil last week, but I definitely brought it up. I said, I'm not going to judge Robert Saleh based off of the results. The way I'm going to judge Robert Saleh from here on out, knowing all the injuries that they have, is how creative and how exotic he is with the defense. Now, he can't make these boys play. He can't make things happen, but what he can do is put them in a position. And I want to see the positions he puts them in. Dude, he could not have put them in a better position than he did last night. All night long, he was getting pressure. Half the time, he was only sending 4, but it was where they were coming from, what it looked like.
Simulations.
He was getting a free runner in repeatedly, and Michael Penix had no idea what was happening. He had no idea how to diagnose, to the tune of they had a free 3 points at the end of the half that they easily could have had. And Penix just panicked and got an intentional grounding, half ended right then and there. That's all Robert Saleh, man. It was absolutely insane to watch. So yes, Robert Saleh is going to continue to do the same thing. At some point, though, it's like enough is enough. So you're not going to have Huff. You're not going to have Renardo Green. So now let's talk about the Green situation, because there's a couple options that they can do here. Jarrell Luter Jr. looked really bad early on. But then as the game went along, he looked really good, right? Like it completely flipped in the second half. So that was encouraging. But Chase Lucas looks phenomenal again and did all the way through the preseason. He said that he's learning the outside corner position. He's learning the safety position. He wants to be able to play wherever he wants and wherever they need him. So if that is the case, let's say Upton Stout is also healthy. Do you go with Jarrell Luter Jr. and then maybe back with Upton Stout? Do you just say, hey, Chase is the nickel corner? Or do you go with Upton Stout and Chase Lucas? Like, What are your thoughts on what the 49ers should do to fill in for Renardo Green?
Darrell Luter Jr. gets to start. That's
Okay.
how I would go. I put
Okay.
Darrell Luter Jr. in for the start. And I think Upton Stout gets his job back. Let's keep this main thing the main thing. We still want these guys to grow, right? Upton Stout has got injured. He didn't lose his job. Okay. He's had really good high spots throughout the season. And I don't think that somebody being able to make plays in his position while he was gone kind of warrants him losing his job. Now, if we see time on task and like actual consistency out of a Chase Lucas or to play in that nickel position, yeah, then maybe we have a conversation that can't be ignored. Yeah, then we could talk about it. But for the time being, I like Upton Stout at the nickel position. I think switching him out at any time during the season would hurt his development and his growth. Renardo Green going down has been an on and off thing. Let's be where our feet are with this situation. He's been hurt since summer. Okay. We've been dealing with Renardo Green being in and out of the lineup since summer. Okay. So for me, I just want to isolate this I want to isolate and categorize this situation for one player and one player only. Put in Darrell Luter Jr. All right. He struggled early, but one of the things about him is that I love his length. I love his size, and he's a willing tackler in the run game. For me, perfect ain't on the menu with this defense. So anybody who you put in way of Renardo Green isn't going to do quote unquote better than him. I don't know if Renardo Green is doing better than Renardo Green at certain times, right? Sometimes he outplays his own performance. So it's really like there's no standard at the position. That's the point that I'm trying to make, is that, right now, anybody that would be stepping into that position is pretty much at the development level of the starter that was already there. So it doesn't really matter, but I'd go with Darrell Luter Jr.
Man, I just feel like somehow, some way, you got to find a way to get Lucas on the field.
Chase,
I understand. I do understand that Upton Stout didn't play bad to lose his job. I also don't know if he actually ever earned the job, to be fair.
Respect.
Because you know what I mean? Like if it was a true competition.
He was hurt all summer too.
Yeah,
That's true.
And Lucas balls out, and so I don't know that he's like losing a job. I don't know that he ever earned the job. And I also don't know that I want him off the field. I just somehow, some way, Lucas has to be on the field. That guy's a ball hawk. He's always around. There's always a big play to be made that when he's on the field, and he's always right there. I just feel like he is a guy that can just create turnovers. And that's what the 49ers are missing right now. At least he did in the preseason. And again, almost did it last night. Twice now he's been in the game for an injured Upton Stout. Once was against the Rams, that huge 4th down run where they won the game. He was in on that tackle. And then last night on the out route, man, he was all over that thing, knocked it down. That's essentially, that's essentially the end of the game right there. So twice he's been in on the game-winning play, and hasn't even played a ton. So I just feel like they've got to do it. And listen, this is not like any shot at Upton Stout. If he plays, that's fine. This is not a shot at Darrell Luter Jr. One thing I am curious about is who is Darrell Luter Jr.? Is he a good player? We're, year 3, and I have no idea what he is. I don't know if he's good. I don't know if he's bad. So maybe you want to kind of see that out and just play Lucas at nickel for a game or two, just to see what you have in Darrell Luter Jr. Maybe if he struggles, then you can kick Lucas outside, bring in Upton Stout. I don't know. I just want to see Lucas on the field because I do think that he's an absolute difference maker, and I think he's earned it as well. I do.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of my point with Darrell Luter, is that before we couldn't get him on the field for the same reason that Renardo was off. He couldn't stay healthy. There was always something with Darrell. But now the kid's got good bones, man. He's mature as all day long. I love his game. He's physical. I think that having another long corner couldn't hurt. And really, I'll give you that. In the beginning of the game, he did struggle. But as the game progresses, it's almost like he never makes the same mistake twice. And his worst plays end up some of the things that he ends up making happen during the game, meaning that some of the issues that he shows during the game, that stuff comes right back to him and he thrives. So Renardo Green, I get it. In a perfect world, if Renardo Green, if they're all playing mistake-free football, I want Renardo Green on the field, right? But for what we got right now, I think that Chase Lucas, in a way, he shows consistency, but I don't know, man. It's like going over your grandparents' house. Like, they're always nice because you don't see them that often. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like we could get a full game of Chase Lucas and be like, yeah, outside of a couple of splash plays, he's horrible. Get him off the field. So I get the splash plays. But I don't know, man. There's a reason why he's a little bit of a journeyman. That, like, this is my thing. If we're going off of what Chase Lucas has shown us since he's been here, he's a starter. He is a starter.
Absolutely.
If we're just going off of that. But for some reason, he's finding a hard time getting on the field. And I gotta go with that.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's like the Nick Martin thing. Oh, well, I don't know. Never mind. It's not.
I feel the same. No, I feel that way. Listen, with what the Niners have shown us, what they can produce and develop at the linebacker position. I mean, they literally developed a Hall of Fame middle linebacker out of Fred Warner from BYU after having a guy like Patrick Willis and Navarro Bowman, like, or in the building. Like, they are good at this. They know intrinsically how to scout the position. If Nick Martin can't get past the guys that said that said Fred Warner deserves to be on the field, and Tatum Bethune deserves to be on the field, and Dre Greenlaw, and Azeez Al-Shaair, and Jalen Graham, and D. Winters, and all these other guys, if he can't find the field, I'm leaning with the organization. You ain't ready.
Yeah, I am with Nick Martin. With Lucas, we've seen it. Like, we know that he's a good player, and he's done it in actual game action. So that's what makes it hard. I just didn't want to compare those two because I think their situations are very different. But I do agree with you on the Nick Martin assessment. I really do. And it doesn't mean he's not going to be really good next year.
Exactly. Just not now. They're not feeling him for some reason. It is what it is.
No, for whatever reason, you're right. They are definitely not feeling
right. With everything that's going on in the season, right? Just like, think about it. All of the injuries, all of the things that's going down. It's all hands on deck. Kyle's playing all of these players, right? CJ West is getting love. Alfred Collins is getting love. Ups and Stouts getting love. Connor Colby is playing, right? They're playing everybody they absolutely have to play. So if that's the tenor of what's going on the team right now, Nick Martin, Jordan James, Jordan Watkins, right? Something's going on with all these guys if this is the huge youth movement and they for some reason can't get on the field.
Yeah, you're absolutely right about that. So we'll see how it plays out. But dude, Tatum Bethune looks I love it.
Fucking unreal, bro.
Unreal,
Jesse.
Unreal. That was
flying
insane.
Around. Did you see him blow up Bijan Robinson?
Oh yes. Yeah.
He was flying around, bro.
Another one. That's crazy.
Do you love his confidence though? Like, guys.
Dude, he just plays like
I played in big. This dude plays on Sunday Night Football. This is his first NFL start. And it's, you know what I love about him? It's the subtle confidence. It's like the subtle things he says that lets you know that he's got a fire under him. He said, this guy plays on Sunday Night Football. This is literally the only football game being played on planet Earth. And he says, guys, I played in big games before, man. Like, you know, I'm kind of used to this. Like, big games is something that I've kind of done before. You know, guys, so almost kind of like y'all are surprised. You guys are surprised. I'm way ahead of the game on this. I love it.
The Warner 48 jersey was so lit too.
So fire.
So fire, dude.
The aura.
Yeah, it was incredible, man. Absolutely incredible. All right, let's do some I have to re-add you because you know you fell out on us and there's that. So all right, let's do some sleeper. Promo code LSS. Link is pinned to the top of the description. Use promo code LSS to get your 100% deposit match. And if you are on the fence about trying any of these types of apps, Sleeper is the fastest growing fantasy football app, but you can also play more or less. You don't even have to make a deposit. You use my promo code, you're going to get a free $20 to try it out. You don't have to make a deposit. So if you're on the fence, now is the time to do it. Coach, we got some picks to be making. We're going to do we're going to do the Monday Night Football game, the other Monday Night Football game. So we have about an hour before it starts here. First, we're going to take our free Justin Herbert half pass yard. You let me know if there's anything that you see here. JSN, do you think he gets in the end zone tonight? Oh, you're muted. Either you're muted or my thing
Smith
is messed up.
Jigba. Yep, I'm good.
Okay, there we go.
Yep.
Okay, is he in or no?
Yeah. That's their guy.
Sam Darnold, I'm going to tease down to 175 passing yards because Houston's defense is pretty dang good. So I don't know exactly what to expect here.
Don't they only average? They only give up like 12 points a game.
Yeah, they don't give up a lot. So I'm teasing down both quarterbacks to 175 passing yards. I'm just letting you know right now. All right, Kenneth Walker. Kenneth Walker has been an interesting case study this year because he has all the talent in the world. We've seen it year in and year out.
Mm-hmm.
But man, he's really struggled against the 49ers. And then the next week he had a breakout season. It's just like every other game, it feels like he's doing something crazy. Do you think he can get 49.5 tonight, or should we go less with him?
Less.
Go less. Oh, you're
Kenneth Walker doesn't show up. Kenneth Walker does not show up against big defenses. It's like whenever they lean on him, he'll show up against the Browns. And I'm sorry, the Browns have a good defense, but he'll show up against the Titans. Right, but
yeah,
I'm kind of out on him.
Yeah. All right. I'm actually just going to throw that in real quick. We're going to submit that, and then we'll find out here in a little bit if we won or not. So there you go. Promo code LSS. That'll get you your free $20 play, your 100% deposit match, and we'll see if we hit tonight. We'll see if we hit. These are always my favorite comments. It's all about making money with this stupid ass shit that they're talking about right now. Do you watch the NFL? Do you not see every other commercial on the NFL and what it's talking about, Sean? What are we actually doing? Should we sit up here and not make money? Should we just do this for free all day, every day, and not make money? Is that free? I mean, come on. What are we talking about here? My Lord. I appreciate you, but dude, come on. This comment made me laugh. Germ says, do you guys mute?
I saw that. I was hoping that you did not miss that comment, or I was going to bring it up after the show. I was like, if you don't say anything about this comment, I'm bringing this up after the show.
Yeah, we're definitely bringing up this comment. This was really, really funny. I don't know about, first of all, the way our mics are built, like we could definitely
let one out.
We could definitely let one out, and you guys would have
you wouldn't even know.
Anyways.
Yeah.
No
These
idea.
mics are pretty expensive, bro. They're good.
Yeah, they cut out all the extra noise for the most part. So no, we don't got to do all that. Maybe to burp or something because it's like right there, but not
it's literally
Too Much Sauce says, is Trent getting in shape now after 7 games? You talk about Trent Williams a lot in the shape that he's in or that he's not in. Curious to know what you think of this comment.
That is a very astute comment. He is playing his way into shape. He's getting better. I see that, but they're picking his spots now. One thing that you got to understand about Kyle is Kyle spams a lot plays that. And one of the reasons why Kyle is so indebted and loves like his veteran players is because he understands that I can literally do this all day. Okay. And I saw that coming. I can literally do this all day and still be able to get a desired result. You can do that when you have a Trent Williams holding things down for you, reaching, making one of the hardest. Okay. So let me say this. The reach is one of the hardest blocks to perform in offensive line. As an offensive lineman, getting a successful reach block, it's a little bit more than technique. It really does take like God-given ability. If you don't have the foot speed and if you don't have the strength to get out of your stance and cross face while that other defender is moving as fast as he wants to get outside, if you don't have that extra burst, you can't do it. And I think that the same thing with Christian in a way, just answering this Trent Williams question, but the same thing, they have to be used in spurts. They can give it to you, but not not for 40 plays a game. You know what I mean? Not during any type of scenario. So yes, I do see Trent getting a little better. This is some of the best pass protection that he's had this season. He is getting better. But there is, make no mistake about it. If this was outside zone Trent, all 4 quarters, you would see the fall off because he just is not that player anymore.
He also got depleted by a DB last night. I don't know if you saw
Yes,
that.
I saw that.
Kind of crazy, actually.
He got lifted,
but Trent and
he lost the war.
Dude, remember when Trent used to get into the second level and just crush linebackers and safeties? Like, it was a highlight reel. Maybe it's happened.
No, it's his
but dude,
first year with
he
us.
got depleted, completely depleted.
His first year with us, man, he was doing like unbelievable shit. Remember the Arizona game when he came out on that linebacker?
That's the one I was thinking of. Oh, dude.
Come on. Remember the truck?
Just
poof. Dude, the truck pull against Green Bay?
Yes. Yes.
All right. The toss versus Green Bay at home in the playoffs. Mm-hmm. I'm a Trent guy, bro.
And that was an injured Trent Williams, by the way.
Yes. I am a
hurt high ankle sprain. Yeah.
Yes. I'm a big fan of his game. So when it don't look the same, it's very clear, but you've got to be judicious. I love how they went north and south with the boys up front. Gave Trent an opportunity to use his technique. And then when it's time to get out and run, he's like, yo, I got my legs. Let's go. So, yes, I do believe he's getting stronger as the game goes on. But you got to be intelligent.
Well, and I think it's going to be, as you get older, too, it's not like you can't do some of those same things. This is the CMC argument, by the way, right? Has he lost a step? Which people have taken way out of context. It's like, oh, you're saying he was washed. No, never said that. Never once said that. Just said he lost a step. And losing a step doesn't mean you can't recapture it from time to time. It's that you just can't consistently do it game in and game out, or play in and play out. And that's kind of where it seems like you're talking with Trent Williams, where it's like, yes, he still can do it. It's just, if you're running outside zone, he can't do it play in and play out the way that he used to, because he's just a little bit older at this point. You can only do it for so long. So that's what losing a step sometimes looks like, is you just can't do it every play the way that you used to. You can have flashes, you can have games, you just can't have game after game, play after play after play. And that's what you're seeing.
And speaking of flashes, that's what you're getting out of George Kittle. It's no mistake that his performance yesterday was left a little bit more to be desired in the passing game. I think he only had 2 targets for no catches. But what he was doing in the run game, you know what I mean? Like, guys, we got to start realizing that it's got to come from somewhere. If George Kittle is going to force himself back from an injured hamstring, you're not going to get him flying down the seam, getting yak, keep doing. That's not smart. And I would be infuriated with Kyle if that's what he did with George. These guys, everybody has a plan to be utilized if they're going to be here, because right now the bottom can fall out. And to be quite honest with you, we're 5-2, but I'm still waiting for the other shoe to drop. I'm not, you know what I mean? Like, it's a long season. We got all of these injuries. Like, that's fair. So it is what it is.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, let's hit this topic here. I think that the 49ers are going to make a trade. We've talked about should they not. We can go back and forth all day long on that. I think that the 49ers are going to make some sort of trade at the trade deadline. Maybe that's trading one of their own players. Maybe that's bringing in another player. Maybe it's both. I don't know. But if you were to look across the landscape of the league, is there a player that you think the 49ers are going to try to target, or players that you think that they might try to target? And if you need a second, I got a couple guys that I can throw at you.
Yeah, give me a second. Go ahead. Do your thing.
Yeah. To me, it's those edges in New York. I think it's very clear that the New York Jets have wholesale changes that they need to make. They have 2 young edge rushers in Jermaine Johnson and Will McDonald, both first-round picks. I don't know that either one of them have lived up to the expectations of being a first-round pick. They have contracts that are interesting in the sense that Jermaine Johnson, his 5th-year option, kicks in next year. I don't know if a lot of teams based off of his production are going to be willing to necessarily take that. We will see. But Will McDonald, after this year, the decision has to be made on his 5th-year option. But these are 2 players that Robert Saleh had a hand in picking. Remember, he was the head coach of this team when they were drafted, both in the 1st round. So does he prefer one over the other? Does he look at them the way that maybe he looked at Huff versus the way that Philly looked at Huff? And was like, no, don't worry. Like, they're being underutilized. I can put them in a position to be effective here. I think that he's looking at one, maybe both those guys. I wouldn't be shocked if the 49ers have already kicked the tires on those guys. And I would expect that whether it's the 49ers or not, that at least one of those guys is going to get moved at the trade deadline. I think the 49ers make a lot of sense. It won't take a lot, I don't think, to get either one of them. It's not the big splash move that maybe, the Max Crosby or the Trey Hendrickson. I get all of that, but it's also not mortgaging your future while trying to remain competitive and just adding another guy to the room right now. I'm looking at Jermaine Johnson and Will McDonald from the Jets. One of those guys, I believe, has a really good chance to end up with the 49ers before it's all said and done here over the next couple of weeks.
I like that. There's a couple of guys that I have right now. Ezra Cleveland, right now, guard out of Minnesota Vikings. That would be huge for us to pick him up. Right now, he's a 2nd round pick, got picked up in 2020. That's somebody who I think could really help us out. But if we're really looking at, I want to go a little bit low and slow. I understand that Kevon Thibodeau's are out there, and definitely we talked about your guys, Jermaine Johnson and Will McDonald, but Jaden Phillips out of Miami.
I like it. Yep.
I think that that's somebody who, because you don't want to bring in anybody that completely usurps Nick. They love him. He's going to come back. He's going to play. Let's just go ahead and put that out there. So my thing is that bringing in somebody who can actually play when Nick comes back or play opposite Nick is something that I would be much more akin to doing. Also, Jaden Phillips is a big, long athlete. He mimics the guys that we've been trying to get a hold of to stay on the edge versus like a Chase Young, like a Charles Omenihu, like a Yetur Gross-Matos. Also somebody who I think that the Niners should be able to stay and take a look at is we can stay right in Miami and look at Bradley Chubb. Now, I don't understand exactly how we're going to be able to afford Bradley Chubb. He's a big money guy. I don't know about if all the production is there, but he definitely give us an uptick. Now, I have a smaller guy because I just believe that, if we're not going to get big names and we just need somebody to help us out, we can get a like-minded guy who's pretty much struggling right now, and I wouldn't mind taking him on. That's Arden Key in Tennessee. If we took on Arden Key, who's already been here, he knows the defense, played with Robert Saleh, understands Coach Kasarik, I wouldn't mind us kicking the tires on Arden Key. Now, I've heard things about Simmons, the big tackle out of Tech, the Titans, and Kevon Thibodeau. We've talked about that a lot. But I just think that those bigger names is kind of one player away energy. Like, all right, we just need a guy to keep the thing going, right? You don't go get a Bradley Chubb. I mean, not a Bradley Chubb, but you don't go get like a Kevon Thibodeau or somebody of that ilk unless it's kind of like, hey, man, we already got the infrastructure. This guy is to already keep something that's already going, flowing. We don't have that. So I believe that Arden Key, I would love to get Arden Key, bring him in here. Jalen Phillips, I love the Jalen Phillips pickup. He's also, how old is he?
20. God, I don't know. I honestly
he's not that old,
maybe,
right? Like 28,
28-ish. Yeah, I don't know. I could be wrong on that. He might be younger, but
yeah. So let me see. Jalen Phillips,
26.
26.
Yeah.
Come
26.
on, man. So listen, 6'5".
Yeah, so he's in there with Jermaine Johnson and Will McDonald.
Will McDonald. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't mind your guys with the Jets.
Yeah.
Obviously, the syntax is there with them and Coach Saleh, so that makes a ton of sense. But Jaden Phillips is somebody who I wouldn't mind seeing. And the biggest thing now, especially with, I was being a little, tongue-in-cheek trying to be the offensive line guy. Really, it's going to be hard and tough sledding to bring anybody in that can start right away to play offensive line. It's just not realistic. However, being able to get somebody in on the defensive line, especially with pass rushing, I think that that's going to help us out in spades. Also, don't forget, if we get somebody in, we want somebody that could be added to what's already coming back. Bryce Huff isn't gone for the season. He's
Yeah.
coming back, right? So we don't want somebody to come in and just completely take over the spot. So just keep that in
Well,
mind.
and also I know a lot of people are really excited about Bryce Huff. It's like, oh man, wait, but he might play so well that he earns a decent sized contract again. And if that's the case, then you want to get the guys that we all mentioned are guys that can play well and fill in for Huff next year and let Huff walk, right? Fill in for Huff next year, kind of keep that torch going, younger guys that can play next to Bosa. So you have to be looking at it. You can't sign everybody when you're paying, Christian McCaffrey and Trent Williams and Kittle and Warner and Purdy. And so guys like Huff are the types of guys that might end up walking out the door. And as much as he's playing really good football, he's also raising his stock across the league. So you bring in another one of those guys that can help you this year, but you also want to get a guy that is not going to cost you a lot. So you're not foregoing the future, which has been big for us, but also a guy that you think can start opposite of Bosa next year.
Yeah, I was looking at Huff right now, Jess. I think we got Huff through 2026.
Do we? I don't know that we do. Okay, you might be right on that. I felt like he
next
was
year. Yeah, all of his void years start in 27. So we got him for 25 and 26. His base salary now is 7.9. His cap number is 7.9. His cap number next year is going to be 17.1.
Yeah, his base salary is 1.2. Is that what, am I seeing that right?
Am I on the right? No, 7.95.
I'm looking at Spot Rack. I don't know. It's so tough with these two sites.
I'm on OTC.
Okay. Well, either way, I'll tell you if his base salary is 1.2, he ain't playing for that next year. If he keeps,
hell no, nah.
He is.
His base salary right now, his base salary in 25. The way I'm looking at what I'm looking at is 7.9, 7,000,095, and his base salary for next year is 15.8.
Okay. Yeah, I see. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see what's what. But yeah, you're right. I mean, technically he is under contract next year. They have a potential out. I just don't know if they're gonna have to rework that or what. So either way, we'll see. But if they can keep Huff for the cheap, then definitely that's gonna be fantastic as well. Too Much Sauce says things that you thought were essential are going to fall off. Comes a moment where you get way too far to turn back, but you can't see any end in sight. You lose your ego and just show up. Has Kyle learned this now?
Things that you thought were essential were going to fall off. Comes a moment where you get too far to turn back, but you can see any end in sight. You lose your ego and just show up. I basically said this on our last show, if you remember. I literally brought this up when it comes to a point where what are you going to do to sell out for the goal that you're trying to achieve? And when you're in the middle of it and you're trying to get there, there's a lot of things that are going to fall off along the way. What ends up happening on I get a thrill off of helping people and seeing them like reach their goals, especially like when I was coaching. And one thing about your journey that you come across is all goals, in my opinion, that I've seen go from the faith of a mustard seed all the way into the grandiose, like, fulfillment of what the goal is supposed to be. There's always a moment where the journey becomes more important than the goal, where the day-to-day, what it takes to actually get the goal almost becomes what you fall in love with. It becomes the new thing, right? Because you're so immersed in achieving this thing that if you're trying to be a doctor, what happens when you're trying to be a doctor? You learn how to research, you learn how to study, you get in study groups, you learn how to take tests, you learn how to you learn bedside manner to the point where when you finally graduate and you're a doctor, then it's almost like, well, shit, I like trying to be a doctor more than I actually like wanting to be a doctor.
Yeah, it's like once you accomplish it, it's like, okay, well, what's the next thing?
Exactly. And that's what's awesome about it, is because that's what it really takes to get the goal. You almost have to forget about it. And just be immersed in what your track is. So yes, I do believe that there are a lot of instances in Kyle's career where we've seen this. We saw this in Washington, where he completely scrapped the offense, picked up a RPO offense for RG3 when they were 3-6. They won 7 in a row and went to the playoffs. We've seen this. We saw him completely turn it around in Atlanta. They were 500. The entire team wanted it. The entire team in the city wanted Kyle gone. There were petitions being signed to get him out of there. And he bended the knee and made an offense that was better for Matt Ryan and all of the parties involved. He can do it, right? Football ain't rocket science. It's really not. That's what they try to keep away from all of us, to try to make us feel like they're gods. It ain't that complicated, right? And yes, I do believe that in order for Kyle to keep his professional reputation or credibility, he's going to have to show what he can do with this team. And you're seeing it. And it's good on him. It's this season, whether he knows it or not, and I think he does, this season is making him better. It's making him better. I hope he picks up a lot along the way in this season.
Yeah, for sure. Chunder Boy says you could only have one, McDonald or Jalen Phillips.
Well, you know McDonald and I know Phillips.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. They're roughly the same.
Yeah, they're kind of.
I don't know. It's whatever. Whoever. I don't care. You know what I mean?
You know what? I'd take McDonald because Saleh knows McDonald.
That's exactly what I was to say. The tiebreaker is that, and then he's less injuries, I guess. So I would go with that. Mick doesn't understand that you and I are really, really good friends, and he wants you to ditch me, Coach. So if maybe you should listen to Mick.
Nah, come on, bro. Stop, bro. Stop.
What you don't know, Mick, is that Coach and I have helped each other so much behind the scenes that there is a bond that's built that you'll never break, brother. Sorry. Bro. You're going to have to deal with this Florida punk every single Monday on his show. Get used to it, brother.
It's my dog, bro. It's my dog, bro. I don't stream with nobody who I don't know in real life. So let's just say that. Put that there. I don't have YouTube friends. I don't have YouTube friends.
Oh, man. All right, let's see. Okay, that was Chunder Boy. Appreciate you, Chunder Boy. All right, y'all. Listen, good show, Coach. Always love doing cover 2 with you.
Always, brother.
Obviously, we'll talk, I'm sure, on the phone tomorrow, what have you. What do you got going on tomorrow? Are you on with Chunder Boy? Speaking of Chunder Boy.
On with Chunder Boy tomorrow. We got Neutral Zone, and then we got 4-man front coming up. So
yeah. Is there a question mark? 4-man front? Yeah.
So, hey, man, I had a good one. We're 5-2. I'm excited. I can't wait for us to get into what we talked about. And I know Chunder Boy, let me tell you something about Chunder Boy is the Brock Purdy #1 fan. I got to see how he feels about these new reports about Brock Purdy basically revealing yesterday. Did you hear about the reports? Brock Purdy basically revealing?
No, hey, I did. Well,
there's no timetable.
Yeah, you were doing the game, but I was watching the game when they brought that up. It's crazy, and I'm actually glad we did a whole show until the very end. You ruined it, Coach. Where we didn't even mention a quarter.
Yeah, we did.
We didn't. I mean, we talked about Mac Jones in the context of playing well against the Rams, but we really didn't mention the quarterback position. Like that's pretty good nowadays. I'll tell you that right now.
It is pretty good. That's hitting hard.
Yeah, I'll be back. I'll be back tomorrow with Sunil. So appreciate everybody in the chat. Much love. Talk to you soon. Peace.